The Chevrolet Traverse might look like the perfect family SUV, big, comfortable, and ready for anything, but under that bold design are problems you need to hear about before spending a dollar on one. If you're counting on the Traverse to deliver smooth performance, solid reliability, and long-term value, you're going to want to see what's really hiding behind the badge. Because while most people think the Traverse is one of the safest bets in its class, the truth is, it's quietly falling behind in 7 key areas that could completely change how you see this SUV. Number 7. Cheap-looking interior. At first glance, the Traverse's cabin gives off the right impression. Wide, open, and tech-focused. There's a big 17.7-inch screen, modern digital gauges, and more storage space than you'll ever need. But touch anything, and reality hits. Hard plastics dominate areas where your hands fall on most. The center console flexes, trim pieces squeak, and even in upper trims, the materials feel closer to rental grade than luxury. Now, here's why that matters. For families who spend hours commuting or road tripping, the interior isn't just scenery. It's your environment. A cabin that looks and feels cheap affects your entire experience, especially when rivals like the Kia Telluride and Mazda CX-90 are raising the bar with near-luxury interiors at similar prices. The Traverse is going to impress you with space, but space alone can't make up for a cabin that feels cut-rate. In a market full of premium-feeling midsize SUVs, Chevrolet's interior feels like it's still stuck in the past, and that disappointment inside becomes even more noticeable once you start the engine, because that new Turbo 4 under the hood has its own story to tell. Number 6. The V6 was better. Chevrolet's decision to replace the old 3.6-liter V6 with a 2.5-liter Turbo 4 was supposed to be a step forward. The promise? More torque, better efficiency, and smoother driving. But when theory meets asphalt, the results don't quite match up. The Turbo 4 may produce 315 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque, but it doesn't deliver the effortless feel the V6 once had. Press the throttle and you'll notice a coarse, gravelly tone. The smooth surge that once defined the Traverse is gone. Instead, you get a powertrain that feels like it's always straining just a bit too hard. And here's where it stings. The old V6 wasn't perfect, but it felt natural. It didn't need to prove itself with forced induction. You could tow, merge, or cruise without that gritty soundtrack echoing through the cabin. So while the Turbo 4 is technically newer, it's not necessarily better. The claimed gains in fuel economy are modest, and the refinement loss is obvious, but even if you forgive that trade-off, the drive itself has another problem, one you'll feel every time you hit a curve. Number 5. Uninspiring handling. Comfort is clearly the Traverse's top priority, and it succeeds there. The suspension is soft, the ride is quiet, and highway cruising feels calm. But that comfort comes with a major cost: engagement. The steering feels slow and disconnected, as if the SUV's front tires are floating somewhere far ahead of you. Take a corner at speed and the body leans like a full-size van. There's no sense of precision, just softness. Here's the deeper issue. When an SUV isolates you too much from the road, you start feeling detached from the drive itself. The Traverse makes long trips easy but uneventful. It doesn't inspire confidence, it just moves you from point A to B. For families, that might sound fine, but over time, a numb steering feel and sluggish handling make even short commutes feel longer. You lose that subtle pleasure of control. And if that wasn't enough, Chevy's rivals are pulling ahead with hybrid tech that adds both power and efficiency, something the Traverse doesn't even offer. Number 4. Many rivals are electrified. This is where the Traverse starts showing its age. While Toyota, Ford, and Hyundai have hybrid or plug-in versions of their 3-row SUVs, Chevrolet is still running on gas alone. Now you might think, so what? It still drives fine. But here's the why that matters. Hybrids are no longer about saving the planet, they're about saving your wallet. Vehicles like the Highlander Hybrid or Grand Highlander offer better range, fewer fuel stops, and stronger resale value. And those things matter. The Traverse's turbo engine works hard, but delivers no real edge in efficiency, meaning owners get all the noise and thirst of a traditional engine with none of the modern benefits. And as fuel prices fluctuate and hybrid incentives grow, the Traverse risks looking outdated far sooner than its rivals. But even if you accept its lack of hybrid tech, there's another frustration waiting under the hood. Not the engine itself this time, but how it connects to the road. Number 3. Transmission issues. The Traverse's 8-speed automatic transmission should have been invisible, smooth, seamless, unobtrusive. Instead, it's one of the SUV's most common weak points. Drivers have reported jerky downshifts, delayed throttle response, and rough gear changes in city driving. It's subtle at first, a hesitation when pulling away, a clunk when slowing down, but over time, it wears on you. Here's why this matters. Your transmission is the middleman between power and progress. When it stumbles, every drive feels inconsistent. That split-second pause when you expect acceleration can shake your confidence, especially when merging or overtaking. Even after GM's software updates, it's still not as polished as the units found in the Telluride or the CX-90. In a vehicle designed for family comfort, refinement shouldn't be optional, it should be the foundation. And that sense of refinement is exactly what starts to unravel once you explore the Traverse's electronics, because smooth driving doesn't mean much if your tech keeps glitching. Number 2. Electrical gremlins. Modern vehicles live and die by their tech, and the Traverse is no exception. Between its massive touchscreen, wireless connectivity, and long list of driver assists, it's as digital as it gets. But with that tech comes trouble. Owners have encountered infotainment freezes, lagging rear-view cameras, wireless chargers that randomly stop working, and even driver assist systems deactivating without warning. None of these issues are catastrophic, but collectively they erode trust. Think about it. When you start your car, you expect everything to work every time. When it doesn't, frustration builds fast. A frozen camera, a non-responsive screen, they break the flow of your drive. You start second-guessing your vehicle, and that's not something any driver should feel in a brand new SUV. Chevrolet has been issuing over-the-air updates, but patching problems isn't the same as preventing them. In a segment where reliability and peace of mind sell vehicles, those small bugs can become deal breakers. And that leads us to the final, most surprising issue, the one hidden deep in the very part of the Traverse that's supposed to make it special. Number 1. Third row usability. The Traverse has always been marketed as the big family SUV that fits everyone comfortably. And yes, on paper it does. There's impressive legroom and one of the largest cargo areas in its class. But in practice, the third row just doesn't work as well as it should. The seats sit low to the floor, forcing passengers into that knees-up position that turns long trips into endurance tests. Visibility is poor too, with thick pillars and small side windows creating a boxed-in feeling. Getting in and out? Even with captain's chairs, it's awkward and requires more effort than in many rivals. That may not sound major until you're loading kids, grandparents, or anyone with mobility concerns. And suddenly that extra inch of access makes all the difference. This is the why most reviewers miss. When your SUV's main selling point is family comfort, poor usability in the third row isn't just a small flaw, it's a betrayal of purpose. The cargo space is huge, and yes, you can fit 8 passengers, but the layout feels designed for a brochure, not for real life. At the end of the day, the Chevrolet Traverse isn't a bad SUV, it's just one that feels caught between what it was and what it should have been. It's spacious, capable, and family-focused, but those strengths can't fully hide its cheap-feeling interior, rough transmission behavior, outdated powertrain strategy, and lack of hybrid options. In a class where rivals are evolving fast, the Traverse is still trying to catch up, proving that sometimes what looks solid on the surface can hide compromises underneath. And that's exactly why these 7 problems aren't just small details. They're the real story behind Chevrolet's biggest family hauler. But do not think that Traverse is the only 3-row SUV that comes with compromises. If you've been considering the Kia Telluride as an alternative, make sure to check out our video about key drawbacks of this Korean 3-row SUV. It may be considered one of the best values in the segment, but it comes with a few weak points that could easily turn out to be a deal breaker for you.